Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Gareth Dyke, and it's my pleasure to make a presentation this morning to colleagues, friends, co-workers in Ukraine about Bentham science. So good morning, everybody. I know it's just 10 o'clock in the morning. I would like to check that you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? It would be awesome if somebody or several people could write into the chat box if you can hear me okay, because we want to make sure that everything is working well. We want to make sure that everybody is here and is able to get the maximum benefit from our presentation today. Bentham Science is the name of the company that I am delighted to be able to make a presentation on behalf of today. Gareth is my name. Don't worry, I won't leave my webcam on for very long. I just wanted to welcome everybody to our short webinar event this morning and to say thank you so much for joining us. We will start in just a minute or two to give other colleagues the chance to join. As I mentioned, Gareth is my name, Gareth Dyke, and Bentham Science Publishers is the name of our company. You can find me on email. I'll just put my email here into the chat box down there at the bottom of the screen. If you have questions about Bentham Science products and services, then I'll give you some contact information later in the presentation so that you can get in touch with the relevant colleague at Bentham Science. So it's just a few minutes past 10 o'clock in Ukraine. I'm sitting this morning in Budapest, so not too far away from everybody listening to this over there. I hope the situation is okay. I hope everybody is safe and well. I'm sorry if you don't have sound. I think that for most people, the sound is working okay. So maybe it's a connection issue. Try to leave and reconnect if there's an issue, and we will get started right now and begin our discussion about Bentham Science. I'll turn off my video so you don't have to look at my face as we go through this presentation. Nobody wants to do that, especially on an early Wednesday morning. Gareth Dyke is my name, as I mentioned already. I hope that everybody is able to hear this presentation as we talk about Bentham Science Publishers. Indeed, thank you again for joining us. To get started, it's important for me to say a few words about who we are. Who are Bentham Science Publishers? Well, Bentham Science is a major international scientific, technical, and medical research publisher. I've worked for this company for a number of years now, and let me tell you that this is a great publisher with lots of great content, and much of this content actually for researchers, as you'll see in a little bit, is actually very good value, because the impact factors of many of the Bentham Science Publisher journals are very high, yet the costs for publishing are very low. And that, as I'm sure you'll be aware, is a very unusual situation in the international publishing industry these days. So what does Bentham Science offer? More than 170 online and print journals, and more than 1,000 online and print books, as well as information solutions for researchers involved in various disciplines in science, training, other content, for example. So one of the things that I do for Bentham Science is to provide training for editors, journal editors, and researchers looking to get their work published in international journals. So this is the company Bentham Science. They publish, Bentham Science publishes a number of leading review journals within that portfolio of 170 online, open access, and traditional journals. Some of the leading review journals in molecular medicine, drug metabolism, Alzheimer's disease research, cancer drug design, and other areas. And we'll talk about some of the specific titles that Bentham publish in a minute. But let me start off by saying that in pharmacy and medicinal chemistry in particular, there are very, very highly rated, high impact factor journals for your libraries, for your researchers. And you'll see also in a minute some endorsements from Nobel laureates. So Bentham Science Publishers, it's a major international publishing house. Here are some of the Nobel laureates who've endorsed a number of Bentham Science journals: physics and chemistry, physiology, and medicine. So, as I'm hoping you're beginning to get the picture, this is a publishing company, a publishing house that has lots of content that we feel would be of particular use to your researchers, to your colleagues over there in Ukraine. So here are some endorsements. We'll, of course, share with you the slides and share with you the recording of this presentation afterwards, so you can have a look at some of these quotes, some of these endorsements in more detail if you want. But the point I'm making initially with this presentation: 170 journals, various kinds, more than 1,000 ebooks, and lots of endorsements from leading researchers, leading figures across the world of science, the kinds of scientific areas where Nobel Prizes are awarded: current genomics, current organic chemistry. Two highly ranked Bentham Science Publisher traditional journals. And by traditional journals, we mean they are publishing in the traditional way. So they allow authors to convert their articles to open access. You can go green, open access with these journals if you want, or you can publish in the traditional way. And that's a very important thing to say at the start. Bentham Science, then, lots of journals and ebooks. We'll give you the website for a lot of the content. That's eurekaselect.net. If you jump on over to that website, you'll be able to have a look at what's available from Bentham Science. You'll be able to search, get involved in the interface, and have a look at what Bentham Science Publishers have available for your library, for your colleagues, maybe at your institution, working in your research group, and the kinds of access that you would be able to get to this Bentham content. So that's worth having a look at, eurekaselect.net. So as we already talked about, over 1,000 books in the Bentham Science collection. All of this ebook content is, of course, also peer-reviewed, so can be relied upon as teaching materials, can be relied upon as training materials for your colleagues, people working in your department. These books are available in PDF format, in print-on-demand format, and in traditional print format as well. So references, textbooks, and handbooks across a broad range of readership groups. And Bentham provides multi-user licenses for librarians, so your readers can get safe and secure access to all of this content, should that be of interest. And of course, maybe it will be of interest. Maybe that's something that we can pick up at the end of this session. The books, we're not talking about the journals yet. The Bentham Science books fall into 6 broad categories, and you can have a look at those categories if you jump on over to these links. I'll put these links into the chat for everybody in a minute. You can see that there are a range of subjects, groups of subjects that you can search on in order to get access to this content. So material science and nanotechnology, medicine, mathematics and statistics, neuroscience, pharmacology, physics, astronomy, optics and photonics, and social and behavioral sciences. So collections can be created for libraries. Collections from within these 6 broad categories can be put together for your library, should that be something that you want to do. So I do encourage you to investigate eurekaselect.net, have a look at the Bentham Science books, because there really is a huge range of books available in a range of formats. So you can use this content to keep yourself up to date with findings in key research areas. So very useful for your researchers, very good value also let me tell you, compared to a lot of the other publisher content that's out there and is available. So using the content to keep up to date with those revolutionary findings. And here are the major disciplines within the content that are available for librarians: chemistry, biotechnology, genomics, neuroscience, proteomics, bioinformatics, patent information, engineering, drug design and delivery, immunology, molecular medicine, oncology, nanoscience, drug safety and therapy, pharmacology, and biochemistry. And this content within the journal series includes review articles as well as original papers. So you can pick and choose again what it is that you want your colleagues, your researchers, people using your library content to have access to. I do encourage you to get in touch with the team at Bentham Science for any follow-up questions. Now, people always ask, how good are the Bentham Science journals? Well, here's a list, the top 19 journals, and you can see the impact factors of these journals in 2019 and in the most recent rankings from 2020. Journals with impact factors up as high as 7, which is excellent, really excellent. So lots of options: medicinal chemistry, current pharmaceutical design, current neuropharmacology. These are great journals with great impact factors, and the impact factors of these journals are on the rise, which is also something very important to keep in mind when thinking about recommending this kind of content to your researchers. Potentially, if you publish, or one of your researchers were to publish in one of these journals, then of course that would mean that the journal over the course of time is going to increase in impact. So a great choice for researchers. Bentham Science journals are of course highly ranked, and they're also listed in a number of major indexing services. You can see here Scopus, I know, hugely important. ISI, also hugely important. ISSI. So don't worry, your researchers will be publishing their great research in great outlets with those indexes that you need. That is needed for that. Yes, Alexandra, you're asking me about the link for libraries in the chat. I will do that in just a few minutes once we get through to the end of the slide presentation. If you don't mind, I will put that into the chat. We'll have a few minutes for questions at the end of this session, so I'll definitely dump that into the chat at the end of the session. And don't forget to remind me, anybody who has further questions or follow-up questions, don't be shy. You can put them into the chat at any time you like, and I'll try to answer them in just a few minutes. So people ask us, why Bentham Science? Well, Bentham Science makes publishing simple. There's an easy manuscript submission process using Scholar One, rigorous peer review. We have professional editing services. I'm involved with helping to provide those as well. Article promotion services. Let me tell you that the Bentham Science Publishers marketing team, absolutely fantastic. One of the best marketing teams across the publishing industry. So if you partner with Bentham, or your researchers publish in a Bentham journal, that's going to get lots and lots of attention internationally. The marketing team are absolutely fantastic. And this company also has a worldwide presence. So lots of agents working around the world to help local academic and corporate institutions. I'm in Budapest, for example. We have colleagues in Ukraine. We have colleagues in Russia. We have colleagues in many different parts of our region available to help if you need, and if you have to have questions answered in around specific topics. So why Bentham Science? Choose your articles, individual online access to individual articles of your choice. We can provide the content in a range of different formats. You can access our research in your preferred format, so in print or electronic, very convenient for librarians. Bentham provides a token system that allows you to control cost-effective usage of downloaded content. And we also have article abstracts available in a range of languages, including Chinese. So that's also made of interest to people, and different open access options. So both gold, self-funded, individual author paid, as well as green, which is institutionally funded open access options to increase your reach as a researcher. Here's just some of our global subscribers. You can have a look at this slide. I'll give you the presentation, of course, in follow-up after this session this morning. We'll also give you the recording, as I mentioned, but lots of companies, pharma companies, academic consortia, other library consortia around the world are partners, subscribers to Bentham content. And let me say also that it's our editorial board members and our authors who are really the dominant element in the success of this journal family. And we build our publishing and editorial boards from top international universities. We really put a lot of time and energy and effort into the composition of our Bentham Science editorial boards. That's key for us. As a publisher, that means that the reputations of our journals are excellent, and the editorial board members who work with our journals play a very active role in selecting papers, in soliciting peer review, and in managing that peer review process. So again, you can be sure that the content is really well curated in Bentham Science journals. Our review process is rigorous. Everything's checked before peer review using standard plagiarism checking software, electronic submission and evaluation system. As I've mentioned, all reviewer comments are recorded in the online system, so everything can be completely transparent. And we provide a choice of review process to our authors, including double-blind peer review, which of course is very popular amongst authors around the world. And that, of course, is where the journal editor and the author do not know who's reviewing the paper, which considerably removes peer review bias. There's a two-stage process for all submissions to our journals, but the peer review process is one of the things that we're really proud of at Bentham Science journals. Let me talk to you a little bit about some of our thematic article collections. We have thousands of scholarly journals available. We group them into themes, as I've mentioned. In this case, around specific diseases. We provide very competitive pricing, a low commitment level from your side, and flexible periodic validity that's out there available for library patrons. And you can have optional downloads of PDF versions for personal use as well. So there's some benefits for thematic article collections. Authors get access to articles, for example, across a range of diseases, medical specialities, and engineering. You're able to meet your students' and researchers' information needs. There's that token licensing system that we've talked about that allows libraries to purchase access based on patron usage and save cost. And you, of course, can access new research content within a particular category as soon as it is published. So as an example, let me just talk you through the Bentham Science Disease-Wise collection. Relevant, of course, for medical researchers. What are we offering? So you could choose to access the Bentham Science Oncology collection, for example. That would include 130 journals, a pile of 7 books, 45 in total, and articles from a range of leading journals as a flexible package for researchers working in that particular area. So that would be an option if you were thinking about targeting your content towards particular research areas. Here's another example: diabetes articles, 120 journals, 45 books in 7 series, targeted in this case towards diabetes. So I hope you can see that this flexibility offered by the Bentham team in the way that you are able to select and download content can be very attractive to international consortia, to groups of researchers in your institutions potentially who are particularly keen to access certain groups of content. Anti-inflammatory articles, again, you can see here, same kind of thing, ebooks, journals, and books for researchers. Here's a collection that we put together around central nervous system. I will provide some information about article processing charges, the costs of article publishing. And yes, the journals, Vladislav, in answer to your question, as we looked at on a previous slide, they are indeed included in both Scopus and Web of Science. To find out specific information about publishing costs, I'm going to give you an email at the end of this presentation. Okay, so cardiovascular disorders, articles in that area, another example of a series for you. And we provide lots of news. As I mentioned already, the marketing team at Bentham is absolutely fantastic at providing access to content and at promoting content. Bentham Science is the only publisher, for example, that publishes journals around patent reviews as a particular highlight. It's a comprehensive book publishing program. Talked about this already as well. I'll give you these links in a moment. It's important that there are specific journal collections available at discounts. You can take a 3-month free online trial at the end of this presentation today. We can give you access to online back volumes available at a discount, and you can get perpetual access to paid and subscribed volumes of Bentham content. Online access is available via a number of interface platforms: Ingenta, Eureka Select, I've shown you already, Crossref, Info Retrieve, EBSCO, Sweatwise, JGate, and Bentham Direct. So lots of ways that you could access this content. And as we've talked about already, lots of library collections of research articles available, online access, and of course, state-of-the-art content, performance, and security, as well as our dedicated teams that help you manage your access at the consortia level. So here's some more purchasing information, and we talked about this already in a little bit of detail, but everything's mobile compliant. You've got the module for metadata generation. We can help you monitor your collection by choosing different subscription options, and we can provide you with data back to your library, back to your institution on usership of the Bentham content. As I mentioned already, please do get in touch with us. We would be very happy to provide you with a free trial of all this content to get things started. Researchers love Bentham journals. They're able to maximize their research. Lots of keyword searchability, lots of download flexibility, able to share their research with the help of the marketing team. As I mentioned already, really fantastic marketing team at Bentham Science Publishers. And we also provide webinars. We can help with training. That's one of the things that I'm involved with, working with Bentham. Webinars for authors, reviewers, and editors. So we can help you to understand how to publicize your research, manage the writing process, understand statistics and data presentation, research ethics, planning your research to publish in high-impact journals. We plan 2 more webinars over the next 2 days with our colleagues at this organization, with our wonderful colleagues at the State Scientific and Technical Library of Ukraine. So thank you so much for listening in to this webinar today. But don't worry, if you want to listen to more webinars over the next few days, then that, of course, is going to be more than possible, because tomorrow we're doing another one at the same time, responding and communicating effectively with editors and reviewers. And then again on Friday, if you haven't had enough, you can tune in again on Friday. We'll be talking about planning your research to publish in high impact journals, just to give you a sense, a taste, a flavor of some of the training that we can provide. It's important because, of course, more than 2 million articles get published every year. How are you going to stand out as a researcher? We talk about academic and research impact. We help authors to maximize their scholarly impact, to have a rewarding academic publishing experience, of course, with the help of the Bentham Science marketing team. There are a number of key journals here, some of the highest ranked journals in the series. I just give you a number of additional examples. You are able to learn how to prepare to write your articles and get them published, Vladislav, in those Scopus and Web of Science listed journals. We will show you how to do this. We will give you roadmaps for successful writing and publishing, how to prepare before you start to write. how to sell yourself to a journal to capture an editor's attention, how to structure your writing, you and the editor won't be lost, and how you can write effectively, giving you some simple rules that will make a huge difference. Absolutely. Let me share again my email just here in the chat. If you want to get in touch with me, I will be very happy to send you over a copy of this presentation. Anyone who's interested, I will also send this presentation to our colleagues over there at the library, in order that we can disseminate this as widely and as far as possible. So at the State Scientific and Technical Library of Ukraine, we will provide an email version of this presentation, which you're free to share as widely as you like. You can follow us on a number of social networking sites shown here. And let me say again, thank you so much for your attention today. I will just give you now an email address. You can see it there on the screen, franz@benthamscience.net. If you care to get in touch with Franz, he will be delighted to provide anybody that wants to get free access to any of this content on a trial basis. He will absolutely be happy to provide that to anyone that gets in touch. Let me also just give you those two links that we also mentioned in the webinar just now. There's one. So you have type that again because it didn't work. There we go. So you can jump in and have a look at these. And let's have a look at the ebook catalog, benthambooks.com, to answer that question about putting the links in. There we go. And don't forget eurekaselect.net. That's the link that you need to have a look at all of the Bentham content online. So I hope that was in some way helpful. I hope that was in some way interesting. It's a bit salesy, I know, this presentation, but don't worry, come back tomorrow, come back on Friday, and we'll actually talk some specific details that I hope will help with your writing and publishing. Yes, Alexandra, it's nice to meet you. Dnipro Regional Universal Scientific Library. Please do drop my colleague Franz an email. He'd love to hear from you. He will provide free access on a trial basis to all of this content. If you haven't signed up yet for our webinar training tomorrow, then I would love to encourage you to do that. Let me just quickly put the links for these also into the webinar chat. Just one moment. Here we go. That's today's. Tomorrow we're doing responding and communicating effectively with editors and reviewers. You can jump into that event tomorrow if you would like to see more of this kind of content. It's all widely available and it's all absolutely free, of course. I know that our colleagues are promoting these webinars as well, but let me just give you one more link for Friday. So thank you very much for your time and attention. My name is Gareth Dyke, and I certainly hope that this has been useful. Do email me if you have questions or you need a personal copy of this presentation. As I mentioned already, I will provide it in follow-up to our colleagues at the library in Kiev. And thank you again for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you same time tomorrow, and then the same time again on Friday. I know you'll be sick of the sight of me by the end of the week. Have a great day, and thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you again, and take care.